Okay, so gang, we're gonna do something a little different here. I have entered the sort of interesting space of Reddit, which I've never been to, and at my age was actually quite eye-opening. And I'd like to weigh in on some posts that are in under the subreddit. I learned what a subreddit was too. Am I the a-hole? I got to tell you, I found this whole "Am I the a-hole" rabbit hole to be quite interesting because it's like, oh, a lot of these are narcissistic situations. And so I think a-hole is kind of more of like Reddit speak for something narcissistic. But so I'm going to read one of these things and see how we feel about it. So, me, a 24-year-old female, and my boyfriend, 26, have been dating for around 9 months. It's a new relationship. I've been riding horses since I was around 4 years old when I started taking lessons. When I was 10, I started helping out this girl at the stable with her horse named Lady. At 12, she told her she had to sell the horse due to time and interest and asked me if me and my parents wanted to buy the horse. Luckily for me, the parents were able to buy her and she's been mine ever since. Okay. This is a long time. She's my best friend and I love her a lot. That's sweet. When I started to date my boyfriend, I was very honest with the fact that my horse takes a lot of time. They really do. And he was fine with this. No, that gives me some concern. You'll see. I mean, it's so sad that I'm so cynical that it concerns me. When I was single, I could spend like 3 to 4 days in the stable. But as we started dating, I cut this down to about 3 hours every other day, as this is roughly how long it takes for me to do all the cleaning, preparing food, and writing. Also, most of my friends are at the stable, which means this is a social for me. Okay. The other days, I would not ride and try to spend less time talking, which would make it about an hour. I'm not loving this. After about 6 months, he told me I spent too much time at the stable. Homie just told her she could spend the time. That felt like a love bomby thing to do in the beginning. So and a future fake thrown in there. So after 6 months, he told me I spent too much time at the stable and I should prioritize my relationship more. And somehow his family got involved and saying it was strange to prioritize the way I did. Families, these flying monkeys, right? I wasn't comfortable with this, but I'm a bit of a pushover, so I agreed. And people who are vulnerable to narcissistic relationships, I wouldn't use the word pushover, but probably somebody who wants to get along, who wants to appease. So I see that. And I don't know if this guy's a narcissist, but I'm not loving this whole horse sequence. At first, this meant cutting down time at the stable, but it has evolved into cutting down riding days. Now I ride about 2 days a week, and the rest I'm simply there to do the basics. All of this as quickly as I can because otherwise I know he'll be annoyed and pissed off for days and give me the silent treatment. So that's all a lot of manipulation. I know my horse isn't really suffering from not being ridden as often as before, but I still feel very guilty that I'm always rushing around her. Girl, I get that. I have a cat, folks, not a horse, a cat. And if I do not interact with that cat a certain amount of time each day, I I really go to a dark place. So this is a horse. I mean, a horse probably needs more than a cat, right? Then last night he told me it was time to sell the horse. I laughed at him and asked if he was serious. He was. I told him no, and he said I needed to start prioritizing this relationship more. And I said, I've done nothing but prioritize this relationship. See, that's a great example. Remember, I say don't defend, don't explain. That's what she's doing. So this is going to go, that's going to go nowhere fast. We argued about it, and he apparently thinks I can just put her down as she's old, anyways. Okay. I have a pet. And if anyone even talks about the day the pet's not going to be here, I actually flip. If anyone told me to put the cat down, I couldn't, I can't even get my head around that. I was furious at this, yes, and told him that was absolutely not happening and I would never sell her. Good. He said that any reasonable person gaslighting. He said that any reasonable person would sell or put down their horse in favor of their boyfriend. He is asking this woman to kill the horse she's had since childhood for him. And the only reason I wouldn't is because I only hang out with other insane horse people. You see that gaslighting sequence? He's pathologizing her and the other people in the stable and the poor horse. So I guess the question is, am I the a-hole? The woman is asking this question. No, sweetheart, you are not the a-hole, but he, ooh. So this story really gives us some, it's interesting. Like my team randomly sometimes picks some of these out for me and I read them and I pick one and I thought, oh, this is an interesting one, but I really didn't go all the way deep into this. So many narcissistic themes, right? The future faking, the love bombing. Of course, I don't mind if you have a horse, right? A lot of people like, of course, I don't mind if you have a job. Of course, I don't mind if you travel. And then they do mind. And if you don't prioritize them, then you're the one who doesn't care about the relationship. That's a very, very classic narcissistic relationship dynamic. So, no, sweetie, not only are you not the a-hole, this relationship is not good for you. For you, if I were you, I'd stick with the horse lady, lose the guy. The horse is always going to be good to you, hun. But this dude, I'd say this was as the usual future faked mess of any narcissistic relationship. So no, that letter writer was not the a-hole. At least that's my opinion. So love to know your thoughts. Do you think she's the a-hole or do you think he is? Remember, this guy is asking her to kill her horse so she can spend more time with him. I think that one is kind of a no-brainer. So we'll keep bringing some of these to you because I got to tell you, these MI and a-hole stories really give us some really interesting themes on narcissism that we can break down in real time. And I'm kind of aghast when I read this. I can't believe that. I really do love animals, and that anyone would ever suggest somebody harm one is really kind of beyond for me. So take care and thanks again.